You may have never heard of Exeter, Ontario, but it's quite possible that you may have actually driven through it on the way to Grand Bend. I'm here to give you a little inside look on what you can experience while you're in this area, and you don't necessarily need to stay in a busy area like Grand Bend, but instead maybe make a little stop here in Exeter and see what it has to offer. I had a really great weekend and I want to show you where I stayed, what I experienced, and even something super delicious. So the first thing I want to show you is where I stayed for the weekend. There is a brand new place called South Bank Suites. It is an old church that has now been converted into a multi-unit boutique hotel. It is super modern on the inside. Everything is brand new. The suite I stayed in was number 3 on the main floor, and it actually has this cute little layout on the main floor with a kitchenette that actually has almost a full-size fridge, a microwave, a dishwasher, a stove, a little bit of dishes, everything open concept. And then a loft style upstairs where you have your sleeping quarters and a small closet up there as well. I love the big, beautiful windows. They've kept that from the church architecture, and little tones of that older building have stayed within this new design. It is so beautiful. The one thing that I never knew I was going to love was the heated floors in the bathroom. I mean, that is a little bit luxury, and I loved it. I also really liked the small love seat that was in the living area because it also pulled out and you could really get cozy, have a little blanket, and watch some TV as you settle down into the night. What a really awesome space this was. I thought they did such a wonderful job designing it and putting it all together. I would highly recommend staying here. The only thing I'll point out is that in this particular suite or in the building itself, I didn't see any sort of outdoor space. So if that's something that you're looking for on any of your trips or weekend getaways, it doesn't have like a patio or any kind of an outdoor area to hang out in. Now, Exeter is only about 20 minutes from Grand Bend, maybe 25, depending how quick you go. But that's kind of the nice beauty about staying sort of off the beaten path in a quieter area, because you're just a quick drive away from things like wineries. I stopped in at Darkhorse Winery, did a wine tasting, which was so lovely. You can buy some different wines there as well, and find things that you won't necessarily find at the LCBO. We stopped also at 2 different breweries, one on the way to Exeter, which was called Donnelly's. Great beer, some great craft beer. I don't get to find that beer in restaurants very often, so it was really nice to hit up the brewery and try a bunch of different samples and pick some of the ones that I've never tried before to take home with me. Even in town in Grand Bend, we stopped at Torched Brewing, and oh my gosh, what a great vibe. They have live music. I must say, if they still have it, the blueberry beer that I tried was phenomenal. That one I highly recommend. It is so tasty. And if you're going to Grand Bend, I mean, I love provincial parks. I have a park pass, so I went and did a nice little hike. It was a beautiful sort of early spring day. I was worried it was gonna be too muddy and cold, but it was absolutely perfect. I just always recommend make sure you wear layers so that you have a good temperature going into any of those hikes. And if you like camping and you want to know more about Pinery Provincial Park, please stay tuned, subscribe to this channel, because I will be camping there later this year. I'll be doing some fall camping, and I will do a full review and tour of the park and let you know all about Pinery. Now, if you don't want to do a ton of driving and you just want to stay kind of local here in Exeter and enjoy the quiet, where I'm located here at South Bank Suites is walking distance to places like takeout, some pizza, some convenience stores, and you can drive in maybe a couple minutes for the grocery store so you can fill up your suite. We were even able to walk down to a little diner to have breakfast. It was a 2-minute walk. So there is a little bit here that you're able to do without having to go for a big drive. But one thing that you absolutely must do while you stay in Exeter is dine out at Eddington's. Oh my goodness, one of the most delicious dining experiences I have had. I highly recommend making a reservation and getting there for dinner. Now I'm going to show you exactly what we ordered and the delicious experience that we had, but One thing I want to make sure that you're aware is these items may not be available depending when you're watching this video. This is a true farm-to-table restaurant where they change their menu seasonally and get inspired by their garden that they have, what's in season, what they want to work with. Even if these dishes are not available when you go, you have to go for dinner here. It is so good. We started with a couple of drinks. Their cocktail bar is awesome. I had a pomegranate margarita, lovely, a pint of beer as well. And then as our starter, the chef recommended sizzling tequila shrimp. So delicious, buttery and garlicky with a little zestiness on there. It was such a perfect way to start our dinner. For our mains, I chose to go with a Korean bowl with a really nice piece of salmon added on. Wow, the flavors were incredible. They made in-house kimchi, which just tickled my taste buds. And the salmon was perfectly cooked with a great, nice crispy skin on it. There was not a bite left when I was done with it. The other main was the short ribs. I love short ribs. I love ordering short ribs. It takes so long to get them nice and tender, but the chef explained to me that he uses a double cooking method where he smokes the short ribs first and then braises the short ribs afterwards. So you get this very mild smoky flavor, but so juicy and tender from that braising. I can't believe I'm talking about this because I almost have no words for how delicious that dish was. Now, if you've ever heard anything about Exeter, Ontario, you may have heard it is the home of the white squirrel. I'm yet to see one, but at dinner, the chef surprised us with the cutest cheesecake dessert that was in the mold of a white squirrel. This is not a menu item that you can just ask for. I think you have to have some kind of an in with the chef, or you have to pre-order this dessert ahead of time because of the time it takes to put it in the mold. But this was the cutest dessert I have ever seen in my entire life. If you're like me and you love taking road trips and exploring Ontario, put this on your list. It's probably not on a top 10 list of places I must visit, but I highly recommend this as a hidden gem that everyone should come and see. It is so close to Grand Bend, but you get that quiet little small town feel just a little bit outside of it, and I highly recommend obviously staying here at the South Bank Suites because it's so beautiful and such a unique stay in a converted church, and absolutely a must dining experience at Eddington's. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about my weekend in Exeter, please feel free to leave me a comment and stay tuned so that you can see where Sylvia goes next.